Hello everyone, welcome to yet another tutorial for the ReConvert upsell and cross-sell application. For today's video, we're going to be looking at a widget that you find on the thank you page, and this being the pop-up with timer. Now, basically what this widget does is it pops up on the thank you page after a customer arrives on the thank you page, and it displays a discount that is being offered, and this discounts of course with a limited time frame that is reflected by a timer. So the timer is reflecting that this discount is available for such a time. Now, in order to actually get to this widget, I'm going to show you at least two approaches from your dashboard. The first approach I'm going to take is, say if you decide to go through, say, a funnel. So let's go to our funnels list. We just click the funnels button right at the top over here. Okay, so now we are on our funnels page, and we simply go to, say, any given funnel, and we go into edit. That takes us to the page builder for that funnel. And while we are in the page builder, so yes, you go to the thank you page slot, and then you can see there's the edit icon. You just click that, and that opens another window which shows the page builder for the thank you page. So now while we are here, to get to the pop-up timer, you go to the general settings section. So you just click general settings right here, and there you see pop-up with timer. Now, before I get into any further detail, I'm going to show you the other approach. So I'm just going to close this, and then I'm also going to close this because we didn't really do any changes. So the first approach was going through the funnel route. Now I'm just going to go back to the dashboard and start all over again so that I can show you the second approach. So now we're back on our dashboard. Let's go for the second route. This time we're going to go through directly, the thank you page. So we're going to go to the list of our thank you pages. We'll just go to the top. There's a drop down list, thank you pages, and then we select thank you pages right here. So now that we're on the page that shows us our thank you pages, we simply go to the one that we're currently using, and then we click customize. Now that we've done that, we are now in the page builder of the thank you page as well. And as just with the previous approach, to get to this particular widget, we go to the general settings section, and then we click right there, pop up with timer. For the record, the reason why this widget is found in the general settings is because the widget itself is not fixed to a particular position on the thank you page. So there are some widgets that you find maybe on the left area or the right area. In fact, you can actually shift, there's some widgets that you can decide to place on the left area, and you can decide to place also on the right area. But for the pop-up with timer, you cannot place it to a specific position. So that is why it's found in the general settings. This little star right here, we decided to place it there as a way of emphasizing the fact that we do highly recommend that you use this widget. It is one of our highest converting widgets, but of course the choice is always yours whether you want to use it or not. Now let's get into the settings of this widget. So we just click pop up with timer. For the record, I'm not really going to make changes or significant changes to the settings I had already put in this widget. I had already made a template, but I am going to go through each and every one of those settings, showing you what they do and of course what you can do with those settings. So the first thing that we can do is to preview what our pop-up timer will look like on the actual thank you page. So we just click this button right here, pop-up preview, and as you can see, that is what mine will look like. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm pretty much happy with everything. A very important aspect, if you want this widget to work or to display on the thank you page, make sure that it is enabled. And in order to do that, there's a checkbox right here beside enable pop-up. Make sure it's marked. If you unmark this checkbox, or if the checkbox is already unmarked, then the widget will not display on the thank you page. So please remember that. Next is the setting for display. There are three options. You can choose to display this widget on every impression. You can choose to display it once per customer or once per order. Currently, I've set it to on every impression for the purposes of this tutorial. And on this setting, basically anytime a customer gets to your thank you page, they will see this widget displayed. But of course, you can choose whichever setting works best for you. The next setting is the background color of the widget itself. Mine is currently set to white and I like it like that, but you can choose pretty much any color that you like using this grid right here. And you can also decide if you want the color to be in full beam or if you want it to be somewhat a bit transparent, and of course the degree to which it's transparent by moving this bar right here. So the more I move it to the left, the more invisible the background becomes. But if I put it on full beam, then the color will show quite clearly. And of course you can play around with this setting until you have the color that you desire. I'll just leave it as it is. The next setting is the free text box. So basically with this field, you are able to place the title of your widget, and this is any descriptive information that you think can help your customers to understand the discount that is being offered. And so for this you can use text, you can also use images, and there are tools that are available to allow you to manipulate and customize the text. For example, you can change the font size, you can put the text in bold, and so on and so forth. Then there is the pop-up delay. Please note this is measured in seconds. What this feature does is it determines at what point the pop-up timer actually displays on your thank you page. That is, of course, after a customer has arrived on the thank you page. So in some cases, people can put it to only 1 second because they want it to be as immediate as possible. You can put as many seconds as you like. But please bear in mind, we recommend that you keep the time as short as possible because under normal circumstances, customers will not spend too much time on the thank you page. So mine is currently set to 10 seconds. I'm just going to leave it like that for the purposes of this tutorial. But like I said, you can put as little or as many seconds as you like for the pop-up delay. The next setting is the redirect store handle. Basically, this handle contains the URL link to which then when a customer clicks the accept button on the widget, they will be redirected to that link. Normally, this would be your online store, but you can also have it as a specific product or collection or whatever. The next setting is this checkbox right here entitled Open in New Window. Now, what this does is when it's marked, it ensures that when a customer clicks the accept button, the link to which they are redirected to opens in a new window. And that way, if they want to go back to the original thank you page, they can do so without problems. But of course, use your discretion, because as you can see right here at the bottom, there is a caution that we put with regards to the use of this setting. So it's up to you whether you want to use it or not. Next, we go to the timer section. Now, please note that the timer in itself is measured in minutes, and the only option available for the timer is in minutes. So mine is currently set to 20 minutes, but of course you can put the number of minutes that you actually want. Maybe just to touch a little further more on this feature, the timer right now, in terms of the text color of the timer, is set to white and the background is set to red. But of course, just as with the color aspect of the widget itself that we spoke about earlier, you can play around with these colors and you can change these colors to whatever suits your preferences. Now, for the record, I thought I should mention that the timer in itself will only start counting, and in fact, it'll only be counting when the customer is on the thank you page. So please keep that in mind. Another thing that you also need to keep in mind is that the discount code which is being offered through this widget will only be valid for the duration that has been set here, the number of minutes. So the moment that this timer runs out, the discount code expires. So if you've put 20 minutes, that means the discount code is going to be valid and available for 20 minutes. But of course, the customer has to be on the thank you page for this to work. The next section touches on discount. So basically, we have either pre-made discount or automatic discount. If you are to choose pre-made discount, you would have to go back to your Shopify store, create a discount, and then paste the discount code in this field. However, if you choose automatic, the discount will be created for you. Personally, I think automatic is better, but it's up to you. The next thing you can also choose is the type of discount that you want to offer. And we've got 3 types. We've got free shipping, we've got fixed amount, and we've got percentage. Bear in mind, in terms of percentage discount and free shipping, you can choose either one and not the other at the same time. So you cannot have, for example, free shipping and percentage discount at the same time. So you either choose free shipping or you choose, the other discount, but you cannot have both at the same time. I've chosen percentage discount, so whatever item I will be buying through this widget will be discounted to the percentage to which I set on this setting, and the discount value I'm going to assign is 20%. Just as a recommendation or tip or word of advice, it is something that we recommend that if you are going to be placing discounts on your thank you page widgets, including this one, the pop-up with timer, make sure that the value that is being offered on this widget, since it's on the thank you page, is higher than the discount values that otherwise you would assign to other stages within your store, for example, the post-purchase page. So for example, say if on the post-purchase page you had offered 10%, then it's a good idea to offer 20% on, the thank you page, for example, on the pop-up with timer, just to make it more attractive to your customers. But once again, this is up to you. The next setting is on the buttons. That is the accept button and decline button. I'm going to start with the decline button. So the first aspect that you can do is to change or determine whatever text you want in this button. I put maybe later, but some people may type decline just as a word, or they might put something else which is to their fancy. You can put whatever you like in there, and you can also decide what color the button is going to be, the background color of the button, and of course the text color of the button itself. So the little trick I did with mine, because you might think there's no button, but the button is there, but I decided to put it to blend with the background just to make it, less attractive, it should not stand out as much as the accept button. So this was just a little trick that I put in order to, make it, less attractive than the accept button. But of course you can decide to play around with this to the degree that you want. It's the same color scheme or same color grid concept that we spoke about at other stages in this tutorial, and so you can do whatever you like with that. I'm just going to leave it as it is, and the same principle applies also to the accept button. I thought I should also say this for the record, that whatever settings you put on the decline button in this section of the pop-up with timer will also apply to the decline button equivalent, which is on a feature called the bottom bar, which we're about to talk about as we go further with this tutorial. So whatever colors you put here, whether it is the color of the text in the button or the color of the background of the button, for the decline button it will be the same on this actual pop-up timer as well as the bottom bar. However, with the accept button there's a bit of a difference, and I will explain that difference when I get to the bottom bar itself. So now we are on the bottom bar section. You can choose to have it display at the top of the page or at the bottom of the page. Basically what the bottom bar is, it is more like a reminder bar in situations where initially a customer would have decided to click the decline button on the widget, in this case maybe later. There will be a bar that will constantly remind them that the discount is still available. That is if, of course, the number of minutes or time that you had set is still valid. So say, for example, maybe they declined it at 18 minutes, but the total time is 20 minutes. That is, this discount is available for the next 20 minutes. And so while they're still on the thank you page, if they were to hit the decline button at first, there'll be a bottom bar constantly reminding them that this offer is still available up until the timer runs out. And so if they decide to change their mind, they can then accept, the discount offer from the bottom bar itself. So basically that's what it does. To preview what the bottom bar would look like, you can just click this button right here, and as you can see right at the bottom, that's the bottom bar. So the features that we have on the bottom bar, there's the text before the discount. So the discount, of course, we're referring to the discount code, which is right here. The one that we have here is a generic one. It will be different on the actual bottom bar or on the actual widget. This one is just a placeholder just for the purposes of demonstration. So the text before the discount is what we have here. And I decided to put your discount code right here. And then there's the text after the discount code, and I put is reserved for. You can of course play around with this, but basically these are just features to try and make the bottom bar, more comprehensible when a person is reading it through. And so, it looks good. Your discount code, and then the code itself is reserved for. And then there's the timer, which is just the same as on the widget that we showed earlier. And then there's the text after the timer. Now this is basically the call to action button. It's equivalent to the accept button on the widget we showed earlier. You can choose what text you want to put. Feel free to play around with that. Shop now while it lasts. That's better. Anyway, so that's your call to action button. And then there is the close button text, which is right here. Now remember what I said, that the settings for this button basically determined by what you put on the decline button at the top when we were dealing with the widget. To make it more visible, let me just say, and then I just put a sad face. So if you look in the corner right here, forget about it. And if you were to follow the scheme, the color scheme that was on the decline button is the exact same color scheme that is on this close button text. So of course, when the customer hits that, then the bottom bar disappears, but the timer will still be running in the background until it runs out completely. Then of course, then the discount code becomes expired at that point. So this is where the difference is. With the accept button, the text color is determined by the accept button text color at the top where we were dealing with the pop-up widget. However, the button color itself can be different. So you can actually click this and then choose a different color. That is for the accept button on the bottom bar. So you can have it as a different color, but well, I'll just leave it as it is. I think having them as the same color is just more strategic, but this is up to you. And of course, you can also change the bottom bar text color. And by bottom bar text color, we're referring to this over here and this over here, just to demonstrate. Let's say if I'm to put red, it also changes the color of the discount code. So this is not the buttons. It's not the accept button. It's not the discount button. It's this area, with the discount code and of course the text before and after the discount code. So that's basically it for the settings, for this widget. And since I only made a few changes, I am just going to hit the save button. This is important. Whatever changes you'd have done to your widgets in the page build of the thank you page, make sure you hit the save button. So I'm just going to click that. And now that it's all saved, next thing we're going to do is to actually look at how this widget would appear on an actual thank you page. So in order to preview your thank you page, one trick that you can actually do is to just go to one of your orders, any orders that you already did. I'm just going to pick the order right at the top, or maybe just the one before that. So open any one of your orders like what I just did, and then go to the top under more actions, you click that, and then you go to view order status page. So this takes us to the actual thank you page. Okay, so now that we're on the thank you page, we waited for a few seconds, and then there we have it. The widget just displayed on the thank you page. So just to show you how the bottom bar looks like, I am going to start by declining this offer. Let me just click maybe later. Now at the bottom, you can see the bottom bar and the changes that I did, the close button, return, forget about it. And then of course, the call to action button, shop now while it lasts. Your discount code, and if you notice it's a slightly different number this time, is reserved for, and then the timer is still running. So while this time I'm going to accept just to show you what then it does and what it looks like. So I'm just going to click the accept button. I'm going to shop now while it lasts. So now we are in the store. We're just going to go through the catalog, choose any given product. I think I like this polo shirt. Yes, or maybe the cap. Oh yeah, there's a cap, trucker hat. So I'm gonna go for the trucker hat. So I'm gonna click that. Buy now. as you can see on the right side, the discount code has already been applied. If you were observing carefully, this is the discount code, the one that we had earlier. It's already been automatically applied the moment I decide to buy this product. So the original price of the product is $100, and because of the discount code, which is 20%, so 20% of $100 is $20. So $20 has been removed from the price of this product, and now I'm being charged $80. And so then you go through the process of buying, you enter your shipping details and so on and so forth. Please bear in mind something very important, that the details which you're going to put, for example, under shipping address and the page that follows afterwards, make sure that the information here is exactly the same as that which you used on the original order that brought you to the thank you page where you saw this widget. So you're done your shopping. Originally, this of course is, for the customer who's going to be actually buying in your store. So the customer has bought whatever they bought. They got to the thank you page. They saw the pop-up with timer with this discount that you're offering. They decide they're going to accept, and then they get to this stage. They need to enter the same information that they entered in the previous process when they were buying from your store. So the shipping address and so on and so forth has to be the same so that this discount can actually apply. So please keep that in mind. But I think at this point, you can see it's straightforward. There's no need for me to actually go forward with it. So I'm just going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and hopefully it was informative. And of course, if there are aspects that you want to ask, you can always consult with our customer support team, available 24/7 for you. Maybe just as a bonus tip, you might notice on some occasions that customers are getting discount codes, and there's a certain percentage that they're getting, and this is maybe from the thank you page. So usually that is caused by this widget. So if you don't want that to happen, remember what we mentioned earlier about enabling the widget or disabling the widget. You simply make sure that you then put the setting that you want. If it's enabled, it will show and it will work. If it's not enabled, then it will not show. But we do recommend that you use it because it is a highly converting widget and it will do quite well for your store. But that's up to you. Once again, thank you so much for your time, and see you on the next video.